Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. TFANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Show for sports fans by sports fans. It's your boy, Coach I, and you know I got the stat guy with me. What's up, stat guy?
What's good with you, night, Coach?
Hey, man, you know, another week. College football, man. We're moving into week 12, man. Coming off a good week of entertaining. I mean, for us, it's always an entertaining week of college football. But, man, you know, we here to talk Oregon Ducks versus Utah Utes, man. This is a pivotal Pac-12 matchup. Both of these teams still can make it into the Pac-12 championship, even after, you know, Oregon took a L Saturday. Let's go ahead and recap this past weekend. Oregon loses a tough one to Washington at home by 37-34. It was a really good game. Things just didn't go Oregon's way, and Washington came out on top. And Utah blasted Stanford. What did you think about these two games?
Yeah, no, I was looking forward to that Washington-Oregon game all week long. And we've talked about it before. Washington's just one of those teams, they always catch somebody. Home or away, in the Pac-12, they always seem to beat somebody they shouldn't, or maybe they're underdogs against. And they got him one last week, going to Eugene, and then the home winning streak there for the Ducks. Big win for them. And then on the flip of the coin, Utah did what you expect a team like Utah to do against one of the bottom feeders in the Pac-12, now setting up this pivotal matchup this weekend in a shake-up Saturday in the Pac-12.
That's right. The last couple of plays for Oregon is just some different type of stuff. They actually completed a long play, the second to last play, but the guy the wide receiver had ran out of bounds, and he was the first one to touch it. He went out of bounds voluntarily, it looked like. At least that's what they call. And then the next play, the last play, Bo Nix thought it was going to be a Hail Mary, but like he threw a late, almost like he tried to throw it on a line, you know, to the receiver, and the receiver's in the middle of the field, like 10 yards short of the goal line. I don't know what that was all about. And with Utah, you're right. They feasted on Stanford, who is, this season anyway, and some of the previous seasons here lately, bottom feeder in the Pac-12, and looked like Tavion Thompson got his swag back with 180 rush yards, and maybe at the right time too, because he's going to need it rolling into Autzen this Saturday. So let's go ahead and talk about that Utah offense versus Oregon, man. Give me some numbers, man. What it's looking like, because Tavion Thompson hasn't had the overall year. He's had spurts where he's been him, but I don't think it's been the year that everybody thought it was, including myself. Early in the season they lost a tight end in Kuti, but Kincaid's been holding it down, and Vele's come along, and Cam Rising is Cam Rising. You know what I'm saying? So what is their offense looking like number-wise?
Yeah, you're looking at an offense that puts up 39 points a game, very balanced on offense, 210 on the ground, another 252 through the air, so 460 all day. But this running game is going to be very interesting because, like you said, Thompson seemed to have got his swag back a little bit, feasting on Stanford. He's going to have to show up and have to have a big game to an Oregon defense that does not surrender much of anything on the ground.
What are their numbers on the ground, by the way? I mean, Dan Lannon has, he came in. Everybody thought the season was gone after they, didn't show up at all pretty much against Georgia. And then they just continued to reel off win after win after win, getting better up until last Saturday, man. And Dan Lannon, he's a defensive guy. So what is that rush defense looking like?
Yeah, I mean, to start, they're only giving up 27 points a game, and that does include the 40-burger that got hung on their head that opening week. I mean, you look at a defense only doing that. They've had some impressive games, but only giving up 108 yards a game on the ground. Sub 300 through the air, less than 400 yards of total offense they're giving up. It's definitely a Dan Lanning coach defense, as he has the Ducks firing on all cylinders on that side of the ball.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting matchup. Dan Lanning likes to blitz. He's a well, I'm not gonna say blitz. He likes to definitely put. He's a very aggressive defensive coach. He likes to pressure the quarterback a lot. His kind of signature is like blitzing up the middle with his linebackers. I'm interested to see how they handle the guys on the outside if that running game for Oregon, I mean for Utah gets going. If Tavion Thompson is able to, he doesn't have to have the 180. I don't think like he had against Stanford, but if he's able to be effective and keep them honest, I'm interested to see how they can cover Vele and Kincaid, especially Kincaid, because I've never been high on Oregon's linebackers or stars safeties covering the tight end spot. So, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. Like you say, the rubber got to meet the road. Something's got to give. Either Utah, Cam Rising, and Thompson and the other running backs are going to, push them back and get some rushing yards, or Oregon's going to stifle them, making them be one-dimensional, which is what all defensive coaches want to do. Now, on the other side of the ball, listen, the national media was saying that Bo Nix was looking like a Heisman candidate. I know that the loss definitely takes him out of contention for that. I mean, the dude's been throwing for over 275 a game here lately, and I think he had like over 400 against Stanford or somebody here. Not Stanford, Cal. I think one of those games. He was just balling out, and then you have their running backs 0 and 22. I think Noah Whittington and I forget the other guy's name. They kind of been taking turns just going off, and Bo Nix in the running game. So, what are the official numbers on that Oregon offense?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a team that's putting up 42 a game. And again, that includes the three that they flew across country to hang in Mercedes-Benz. So, I mean, this offense has been electric. You're looking at 239 on the ground, another 289 through the air. I mean, this is just an offense that can move the ball up and down the field when not playing Georgia and can get the ball into the end zone kind of at will. But I tell you, this Oregon offense is going to have to show up to play, and Bo Nix is going to have a big time game because they are going up against the best defense in the Pac-12 this weekend in the Utah Utes.
Mm. The other running back I was thinking about is Marquise Irvin for Utah. Both of those guys are really good. I think their offense has been good, especially considering they got new pieces. All three of those pieces pretty much are new or inexperienced on the offense, and then outside they got Franklin. So listen, man, this thing could get interesting. What Utah's not giving up much, are they?
No, they are the best defense in the Pac-12 by far. You're looking at 20 points a game, 106 yards on the ground, and then you're only looking at 221 through the air. So you're talking about 227 all day long. I mean, it's just 327, excuse me, that they're giving up a game. I mean, that's just a stifling defense, especially when you talk about playing in the Pac-12 where offense is at a premium.
Yeah, and this is listen. Even though Washington got the win last Saturday in Autzen, it's not many teams that can do that. And this game is there. And let's get to the prediction, man. Just what we just talked about here the last couple of minutes, man. You looking at both teams that don't give up anything on the ground, pretty much. 106 on one side, 108 on the other side. It's looking like whoever's able to run the ball the best. I know both teams can pass the ball, but it's looking like whoever's able to run the ball the best is probably going to win this game. You know what I'm saying? And gosh, this is going to be a hard one. What's the spread and the over-under on this game?
Yeah, so the over-under is going to be 61.5. The spread, they are giving the Ducks the 3 for playing at home, so you might as well call it a pick 'em. But an interesting thing, man, Pac-12 not letting us down, giving us a Pac-12 after dark with the 10:30 Eastern time kickoff. You love to see it.
We do love to see it. I love when the big games for the Pac-12 and the Midwest teams like Big 12 are like 7 o'clock or later here on the East Coast, man. I hate having to get up early and watch those type games, man, and especially like a game like this. This is going to be huge. That way, it's probably the only good game on at 10:30 has to be. I mean, there's a lot of other games on at that time. Man,
Another Pac-12 game will be in the fourth quarter when this is kicking off. because USC, UCLA do kick off at 8 Eastern time. So we'll finish up strong there and roll right into this. Hey, college football lovers paradise.
That's right, man. I'm gonna be glued to the TV as usual, man. This is a hard one, man, because like I say, listen, man, Thompson looked good last week for Utah. I know it was Stanford, man, but like sometimes, man, it's just as a player, whether it's in any sport, man, sometimes you just need to see it. It doesn't matter, see some progress. It doesn't matter who it's against. Like a shooter that's in the slump just need to see the ball go through the net, and that could be the case with Thompson. Oregon's getting 3 at home. Listen, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Utah for the road upset. Utah was I did at the beginning when I did it, at the beginning of the season, I did say Utah was the sleeper to be in the top 4. That is not the case, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Utah to go in and pull the upset by 3. I'm picking Utah 37-34, just like Washington did last weekend. What you got?
Yeah, man, we've talked about things like this before, and we haven't mentioned it yet on this video. I wonder if last year is in the Oregon players' minds. You have a new coach, you have new players. It shouldn't be, but me and you know all too well that stuff seeps back into the locker room somehow, some way. They had their hearts and dreams and everything crushed and stomped on to end the year last year. But look, whether that's in the locker room or not, it doesn't matter. I think the Utes defense is the real deal. I'm taking them to roll into Eugene. Give me something like 31-24, 31-20. I'll go 31-27. I'll take Utah by 4 to cover if it was even going the other way. But 31-27. Going with the Utes. Oregon starting a new trend by losing back-to-back games in Eugene.
Listen, you made some. You did mention last year, and everybody knows what happened last year. That could be. Listen, if that it is on their mind, you just don't forget that kind of thing. And they could have had it circled from the time they enter winter workouts. That could be good or bad. We'll see on Saturday, but. For the to the Oregon Ducks, credit, neither one of those games was at home. One was at Utah, and one was at Pac-12 championship. Now, I will also say that Utah in the last 6 trips to Eugene has only won 1. So that dates back to like the early 2000s. But I don't know, man. I think Utah is overall. I think Oregon was really hot, and I think the problem going to be is not that they hadn't had this game circle, is that they were like right on the cusp of like having a chance to be in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot mentally to lose, and I think they're going to have a emotional hangover at least to start the game. They may come out of it, in the second quarter to the second half or whatever. But I think Utah's focused right now trying to get to that championship. They had Utah, their playoff dreams have been gone. So they've been refocused on just the Pac-12. So I think that's going to help them at the end of the day, man. Duck fans, Ute fans, get in the comments, man. Let us know who you think is going to win this game. And the winner is still alive in the Pac-12 race, man, trying to get to the championship. And the other one's not whoever loses is not matter. I don't think Oregon wouldn't be mathematically eliminated. I think Utah would
need a lot of help.
Yeah. Oregon still possibly if some things shake out the wrong way with other games. But for the stat guy, man, it's Coach Chad, Fan Addict. We out.
Peace.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fan Addict, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?